What's up, guys? Jeff here. One Take Sunday. This is where we just roll with it. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake, and whatever. Typically, what we've been doing on these One Take Sundays is doing a store update, and we're gonna start here in the back like we typically do, and then we're gonna walk through the store, talk about some of the things that I accomplished this week and some of the things I want to accomplish next week. So let's get going. All right, so back room, not a whole lot going on. We've cleaned it up a little bit, even though it's still a mess. I do have some of the wood that was piled up here, just kind of stacked up in the back there. All the pieces that were too small, I just got out of here. We still got water brewing here in the back. And then we got some boxes and some items from my house here still, and then some cardboard that needs to be taken care of. We also got some leftover plywood, that sort of thing, and then these rails. This is what I've actually am using for the lighting, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. And this stuff, yesterday I was working with this quite a bit. Yesterday was the daughter's birthday, and what I did is we spent the morning and up to lunch at the house, and then I came here yesterday evening and rocked out the panel that we were talking about putting together between the cupboards and the frag tank, because I was worried about just splash and all that stuff kind of getting into that board, because those cupboards were not made very well. But I bought in 2 sheets of this stuff. Come to find out that that was a return. Not that I care that much, but I think the price should have been knocked down a little bit if it was a return. But this sheet right here, I'm only going to zip the top of it off, and I'm going to put it on this wall over here, just so that we can get that sink installed and all that good stuff. So a little bit more of that. Then even if your cuts are awful, which mine weren't great yesterday, this stuff that just kind of snaps on cleans up that cut pretty good. So I ended up using more of that than I planned on using on the section of that I built out for the cupboards. But very, very useful stuff. Very happy about that. All right, so yesterday spent some time cleaning up this room, and this is clean. This is about as clean as this has been since I've moved in here. Minus the floors, but the floors got swept yesterday. So this is probably how this is going to look back here starting out. This tank will be up front, and these items will be gone, but I'm just going to kind of leave this open. I'm going to replace some of these ceiling tiles because I harvest some of them for the front, because what I did in the front is I just took these ceiling tiles down and painted them. And then from some old water damage, I got to get these guys replaced, which I'll probably end up doing that this week. But organize the tools up so I can find stuff a little bit better, because the end of the week, last week, I was a little frustrated not being able to find stuff. So that's that. All right. So this is the sales floor in its current form. Probably should pick this up today, because I don't think I'm going to be painting this wall anymore. I'm going to be putting some trim up there at the top to kind of take care of that. But we did get this done this week. I actually just need to put one more coat on the top, wrap that up. But we trimmed it out. I did all right on the trim work. It didn't wasn't perfect, but we made it work. So one thing that did change this week was I did have the freezer over here, and that's where I thought I was going to keep the freezer. That has since changed, because that freezer is pretty loud when you plug it in. It's an awesome table right there. That's my interwebs and phones and all that. We need to clean that up a little bit. But what I'm going to do with this space, I'm going to probably leave this right where it is, but I'm going to build a tank that is custom tank for right here. And I'm thinking custom freshwater tank. It's going to be the only freshwater tank in the store. But we're going to do something pretty neat with that, and I got some ideas in my head. I don't know if those ideas are feasible or not, but we're going to give it a shot nonetheless. But I'm going to have the same guy that built the water table to see if he can help me out with that. Probably won't be ready for the opening of the store, but I got some ideas for that. Fish are doing okay. We had some fish arrive a little bit on the rough side, and I didn't really want to treat in these tanks because eventually I want to have some invertebrates in there, but some of them I needed to treat. Just needed to happen. Some of the fish were a little bit on the downside, and then whatever is what it is, right? So that's just kind of part of this business, like the part that a lot of people don't see is the constant death that happens with fish. Every day I come in here and I scoop out maybe 2 or 3 fish out of the tanks. And I did have one tank that was just a complete it nuked. It just went nuke. Those fish when they arrived looked absolutely awful. And they were gone within probably 3 hours. And that was the cardinal tetras, which cardinal tetras are not usually as finicky as neons, and the neons that I have are doing okay. But yeah, so a lot of things to work on with that. I did go through, and I'm in the process of treating some of these tanks, just because I'm trying to salvage some fish that are sick. But I gave you guys a whole update on that, and I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check those fish out that we originally received. I probably will do a small order before we open, but I got a lot of livestock that I got to get in here, so that's what it is. And originally I really didn't even want to do freshwater, but it's going to bring people in, and hopefully I can provide a pretty good service. I think they're obviously I need to be able to treat fish because it's impossible at the distribution level, outside of them just being amazing, to be sending 100% okay fish, and then there's the stress of shipment, which can cause problems in itself. There could be no visible issues with the fish, but these guys are still fire. Love these dwarf neon. So we can pick them up. Absolute beautiful fish. I got the lights on, so a bunch of glare. So last week we moved the freezer. We talked about that. The freezer is over here by the water storage tanks at the moment. We also got the saltwater tanks set up. At least for the most part. I need to get a pump for them and be able to water test them before I put on the paneling that goes up on the side. And then this one I'm going to push up against that. And then we're going to open up with these, and I'd like to order at least 2 more down the road. And believe it or not, the cost of these, which these are awesome, I'm pretty happy with them, outside the mistakes that I've made on the plumbing, but the cost of these 2 systems is the same exact cost that it was to build this. It's pretty crazy, huh? But yeah, we got these guys. I want to get them with water running this week. We'll start the cycling process on those. I really want water in everything this week, and hopefully, if I can really chug along today, which I got a couple things, administrative things to take care of today. But if we can get those knocked out, I don't see why we can't have at least water in these systems. So yesterday came in, I worked on this, which I have, I don't have the top screwed down yet, and I also need to put the end caps on it, but I got the kicker board on there. It seems like it's going to work pretty good. I just need to get the hardware, the handles, so I don't have to pry stuff open, but you know, I think this will be a good little bagging station. We'll have, you know, your fish bags in here, extra fish bags in there, maybe some specimen cups in the bottom. I got a drawer here too. It's kind of hard to pull out. That's not a drawer, but then you got the cupboards underneath. I just need to sink this guy down and then put on the end caps, which at first I was pretty pissed, for lack of a better word, on these end caps because they're pretty tore up. I think I still might actually bring those back. I was thinking that I might be able to get away with it, but we'll see how it goes. So basically you just iron these on, stick them on there, and then you file off the extra, which I don't know how much filing I want to do, but I'll look like that. Anyways, but we'll finish those off. But I'm really happy with the RFP board, RPF, whatever, you know how I am. Came out really good. I ended up screwing it. I know that that's not how you're supposed to install that, but I want to be able to remove this and take this apart. Eventually, I didn't want to glue it, but I slapped on these 2x6s and then ran that board straight across, which we should be able to see from under here. And it just looks like the back of the cabinets there. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So this will be the task for today. We're gonna get plumbing. I got the sump from the basement here. The only thing with this is that these holes are a little bit smaller than what I plan on using. I'm gonna be not running a ton of water through this. I really should probably go bigger considering the tanks that I have up top, but this is going to be what we work with in the beginning, and then I want to get these guys plumbed up today. So the plan as of right now is to, I'm probably going to flip these around. I'm going to flip to this side. No, I'm not. I'm leaving it like this. All right, so I'm going to drill here. So the water will come back up on this side, and it's going to drain on this side, and it's just going to run across. And we're going to have both of them hooked up to that sump. And not draining a ton of water, but have the ability to move water as necessary. But I want to get these guys ready to go as of today. That's going to be my big project. The other half is coming to finish out painting the other stand. I do have my lights up, my Gen 4s hanging. Pretty happy with the way that looks. They're up there pretty high, but I should be able to turn the power on and be able to do that no problem. But that whole rig worked out pretty good. Even though I had to special order screws because I don't know what I did with the screws for the Gen 4s. I only had the screws for one of them, and that was because I've never used that light. But I did have like part of the hanging kit, so I don't really know what happened with that. But yep, we got that all done up, and I got a power strip that I'm going to be using somewhere in here to run all the components down there. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. This sump is really just going to be where I keep the heater for the system. I might end up needing to put heaters in the tanks because I'm not going to be moving an absolute ton of water, just to ensure that the system's staying where it needs to. That sump's pretty dirty, but I'm not too worried about cleaning it right now. Hoping this week that we will get the website up and running, and get some of these products that are here listed on there. I need to do a couple more dry good orders, but yeah, that is where we are at right now as of today. I want to thank you guys for joining me. If you're still watching, you're awesome. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. We'll have a new video right here for you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Peace.